Oh, wait.
Oh my god.
Alright. Okay. The U.S. has some of the highest teen pregnancy rates and STD rates of the Western countries, and mostly it's due to the lack of prominent comprehensive sex education curriculum that's being circulated through the schools. Sex education should be mandated throughout the United States, and a curriculum should be created so that these rates of teen pregnancy and STDs can be lowered. Now that I have your attention, I'm going to talk about what comprehensive sex education is and abstinence-based sex education. So comprehensive sex education is more in-depth, and it talks about sexuality, sexual relationships, healthy relationships, STDs, and contraceptives. Abstinence-based curriculum teaches more just like the Just Say No curriculum, and it teaches like to not have sex until you're married. And sometimes it does teach about like STDs and things like that. So going into teen pregnancies, so teen pregnancy rates have actually been going down throughout the years, but it's not due to the curriculum in the schools. It's due to other teen pregnancy prevention programs that they have outside of the schools. And then the higher rates of teen pregnancies in some areas where there isn't a lot of programs like that leads to higher rates of abortion. So in the article Teen Pregnancy Prevention, published in Congressional Digest in 2017, the United States spends millions of dollars, as indicated by the CDC, on abortions and other teen pregnancy programs or anything that has to do with that. To cut these costs greatly would be better for the whole United States. And if we had a better education, we could lower these rates, and that would lower like how much we spend on this. In the same article, it talks about the Trump administration reducing the budget for health and services, which is where teen pregnancy prevention programs and other sex education programs get their budget from. So it's really being an overlooked problem and not really like getting any attention. In Hall, Whitkemper, Collins, and Rogers' study conducted and published in the American Journal of Health Behavior in 2019, less than half of states' education even talks about healthy relationships and even talks about healthy relationships or any sexual relationships at all, and focuses just on abstinence-based. And in those areas, there's higher rates of teen pregnancy. So next I'm going to talk about STD rates. In the Stagner-Hall article, Why We Need Comprehensive Sex Education in the U.S., published by PLOS ONE in 2011, the correlation between STD rates and the sex education taught comprehensive sex education is actually more effective than abstinence education if you look at the rates compared to the areas that teach comprehensive and the areas that teach abstinence. And in the 2018 STD surveillance report done by the CDC, it talks about the increase in STDs. So there's a 19% increase of chlamydia from 2014 to 2018, and then gonorrhea, there was a 63% increase since 2014, and then syphilis, primary and secondary, was 71%, and the congenital syphilis is 185% up. So STD rates are going up in the United States, and that's a really big problem because we also spend a lot of money on like medication and everything for that. And now I'm just gonna ask you guys to like visualize like a world where we don't spend so much money on STDs and teen pregnancies, and really think about how like better it would be if we didn't have to like worry about so much of this stuff, and especially for teens and like the youth of like America, and not having to worry about this like these high rates of STDs. And then in a survey taken by the CDC in 2010, Just Say No was taught more than any other sex education program, and there was no teaching about condoms or birth control, and it and sorry and I can't so as we know, like that method isn't useful, and it doesn't help at all because teens are just gonna do whatever they want to do, and they're not gonna listen to like us just telling them to not have sex. So that's all I have for today. So I definitely think that we should have a mandated curriculum that's set up by health professionals and circulated throughout the United States, so that it can be it can be better for the teens to be able to like know what like healthy relationships look like, and know like their options of birth control and other contraceptives, and also like protecting themselves from STDs. And I think that having that curriculum will decrease the effects of that unsafe sex has.